What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Caleb Sweet Hands Plant. Caleb Plant states that I showed I belong on the top level. I will be champion again. Caleb Plant, 21 1 in 12 knockouts, tasted the first defeat of his pro career on Saturday night in Las Vegas in a full division unification against Canelo Alvarez. Plant was dropped twice in the 11th round, with the contest being waved off upon the second knockdown. It was the first time that Plant had ever been knocked down in his career. Afterwards, Plant was taken to the local hospital as a precaution and did not attend the post-fight press conference. During the fight, he won a few rounds and performed better than had some expected with his constant jab and defensive ability. Plant has now vowed to return stronger than ever in 2022. He says, I've bent most the world to my will and done it with nothing but passion and skill. I will be back. Bars. I showed I belong on the top level and I'll be champion of the world again. I never been scared to go big or go out on my shield. Thank you to all the fans and my supporters, Plant stated. The 28-year-old Plant captured the IBF world title by defeating Jose Uzcategui in January of 2019 with two early knockdowns on his way to clear a unanimous decision victory. The fight with Canelo was the fourth defense of the belt after the wins over Mike Lee, Caleb Truax, and Vincent Fegenbutz. So, those are the words of Caleb Plant. Let me counterpunch. I like it. He did show that he belonged. He showed that he is a competitor, or he's on that level and he can compete with anyone. There's no doubt about that. Caleb Plant has nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, he has nothing to be ashamed of. He did what he's supposed to do. We seen signs of Floyd and shades of Andre Ward in there, which Andre Ward helped him prepare for this fight. I don't know how much, but he did. He did give him some pointers, and he was in the gym with him. Okay, however, that being said, everything he said was spot on, and he's, he thanked his fans and all his supporters, But one thing I didn't like about Caleb Plant is once you get to this level, it's more than the things you do inside the ring, it's what you do outside. Okay? One is, I like what he did with Canelo. He embraced Canelo. He showed Canelo respect, congratulated the win. But what I didn't like is he left. He shouldn't have done that. Okay, that's strike one. Another thing is, he didn't show up for the post-press conference. Okay, that's strike two. Because if you didn't show up, I remember Anthony Joshua leaving without saying anything. So, they do that. I guess, his emotions were on high. I get that. But at least show up for the post-press conference and show people like, hey, this is what it is. This is my initial reaction after the fight. You didn't see any of that. So you can assume anything. You can assume he gonna cry in the car type shit. You know what I mean? But I didn't like that. Now, what he did post, like, hey, thank you for all the fans and my supporters, it's almost like, is that really him? Or was that somebody just his PR team or whatever just got that together, like, hey, man, tell somebody something, because you got to owe your fans and your supporters something to tell them. So you don't know how authentic it is, okay? So I think he should have done that. I think that Caleb Plant is the type of fighter that he should fight the rest of the division. I would love to see him with David Benavidez. Whoever Canelo doesn't fight, he should fight the other guy. Fight Jamal Charlo. That could put you right back to where you were Saturday night. That's if Canelo decides to stay in the division to get revenge on Canelo. However, he might leave anyway, but that's good for him because the belts become vacant. So he can fight for those belts, and then, like he said, or like he desired, he wants to be champion again. So it might be an easier route fighting someone else besides Canelo Alvarez, but who knows? But I think that Caleb Plant made a good account of himself, and I think he won more than a couple rounds. Okay, that was bullshit. You know, I didn't like that, but of course, this is a Canelo show. So these things happen when you fight Canelo. But I'm glad for the knockout, so we wouldn't even have to deal with that reality in the first place. But, you know, Caleb Plant, I think he owed it because he's an outspoken individual. And I think he failed that test when showing how outspoken he was, because once you come to your fans and tell your fans, like, listen, thank you all for coming out. You know, I came up short, but I love you guys and I will be back. You say that to them, that means something to them. That's the connection between you and the fans. And you're connecting with them that night instead of walking off. That's not professional. And it is really not, it's nothing of prestige at all. You know, yeah, you can write, anybody could have done that. Again, so that's one thing I didn't like, but at least he embraced Canelo Alvarez. And I guess in Caleb's mind, hell, that's all I need to say. But hey, you have fans too. And he probably made more fans that night, but probably lost fans by just stepping out and not even showing up for the post press conference. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Caleb Plant's first initial response after being beaten by Canelo Alvarez and knocked out in the 11th round. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.